Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Before we get into the topic at hand, what's more powerful, Satanism or Christianity? A fitting topic for the Church of Satan's 60th birthday. Let's answer a question in the chat. And I can tell the person asking this question didn't watch my last video. Otherwise, they wouldn't be asking this question. In the last video, like I so often do in my videos, I throw in additional information. I said, tomorrow is May 1st, the anniversary of the Illuminati's establishment. And this year, very interesting because it's the day of the full moon. And we know in Gematria, moon equates to 51. The moon is illuminated by the sun. And as we'll get to, the Illuminati does have some satanic connections. The Illuminati founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, and as I've often educated about, the Jesuits' fingerprints are all over the establishment of the Church of Satan and the demise of their leader, Anton LaVey. And there's going to be some spoilers that are about to happen very soon. If you want to watch the movie Him and you don't want me to ruin parts of it for you, you might either have to plug your ears or just skip this stream. But honestly, I'd still watch the movie even after what I reveal. You might pick up on even more. And maybe had I not revealed these things to you, you would have missed them. Because I notice a lot of people just miss the things that are just put right in plain sight of movies. I think a lot of people's attention to detail is lacking at this day and age. As we know, a lot of people are on medications, short attention spans. But yeah, I think this is a very important discussion. What is more powerful, Satanism or Christianity? And while I hate to give him any plug, I do have to bring up Mark Passio, the Jesuit-educated former priest in the Church of Satan, who often gloats about how he was handpicked by Anton LaVey and how in his time in the Church of Satan, he saw how many powerful people from leadership in this country are secretly members of the Church of Satan. And some people think he's just capping. And I think as time goes on that maybe he's not. And of course, I'll bring up the one time that Mark Passio took my phone call, even though I'd called into his show probably over 100 times. He only took it one time. And he said he'd like to do a lot more work in that call. And then he never picked up my phone call again. But there's something very interesting about the one time he did take my call. So again, this thing with Area 51, one day before May 1st, as we write 5-1, May Day, the Illuminati's birthday, I think that's what's happening. And consider part of the world has already entered May 1st and the day of the full moon as this news breaks about the small but numerous earthquakes at Area 51. And like Jesse Ventura told you a long time ago, a lot of those earthquakes aren't Mother Nature. Their military technology, their military weapons. So, yeah, if you haven't seen Him, the Hollywood movie Him, Netflix just put it out on April 19th. Of course, it released in theaters last September 19th. But Hollywood added it on that very special day to the Jesuits, the anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola being recognized as the first superior general. And they put it out just days before the NFL draft, which was also fitting because the movie's about a young man being drafted into the league who's perceived to possibly be the next greatest of all time. He sort of resembles Patrick Mahomes, the same skin tone, similar looking, and I don't think that was by accident. I think he was meant to resemble Mahomes, who's known as the baby goat, who lives in Tom Brady's shadow, the GOAT. And what Him is about is before this young guy goes into the league, he gets to spend a week with who's supposed to be essentially the Tom Brady of the NFL, this guy who's won a gazillion championships, unprecedented resume, and he's near the end of his career, and the team he plays for is thinking about drafting the young future superstar to replace him. And in the movie, the young man learns that, whoa, this league's not what I thought it was. There's some weird stuff going on behind the scenes. sacrifice. Just like LeBron told JJ Redick before he became the Lakers head coach. JJ Redick had a podcast. He interviewed LeBron before becoming the Lakers coach. It was shortly before becoming the coach, but he asked LeBron, what is the secret to a long, successful career like you've had? And LeBron said, you have to sacrifice your loved ones. And JJ Redick seemed puzzled by that, and he kind of asked him to clarify, and LeBron just came back with the same thing. You have to sacrifice your loved ones. And we've talked about all of the bodies connected to LeBron for over a decade, including the young child when he opened his little school there in Akron. And again, it's amazing how this stuff flies under the radar and people don't put two and two together. You know, Tom Brady, right before he won one of his Super Bowls, a member of the Brady Bunch died. Just this stuff's going on all the time. And anyway, I want to show some things that are in him. Again, if you haven't seen him, the first football game shown at the beginning is between the Masons and the Saviors. The Masons and the Saviors. And, of course, prominent secret societies like the Masons. To be a Mason, you have to believe in God, which would fit in with the whole Savior thing. Again, in some religions, Masonry is banned, but it seems quite evident that banning is just something known to the public, where behind closed doors in these secret societies, there's actually a union. If you just missed what King Charles did the other day, the royal family is known for being highly Masonic. He addressed Congress, and as we covered, it was perfectly synced with the House of the Temple, the Masonic headquarters in D.C., and the Grand Lodge of England, obviously headquartered in England, which gave birth to modern Freemasonry. Something that I forgot to put in that post is that, you know, that speech was given 139 days before the Pope's birthday, and Freemasonry equals 139, as does America, as does Pope Leo XIV. And again, these things aren't an accident, but yeah, in him, not only does the movie start with the game between the Saviors, who the GOAT plays for the Saviors, where he beats the Masons with a very symbolic score, with the 35th points of the game. Again, if you're new here, I always talk about football and 35 and why that number is so irrelevant, especially in Thursday football games, and why it was the winning score of the first Super Bowl. Again, we'll put it all together. It also very much connects with Satan. But yeah, the Saviors beat the Masons in the opening second. They flashed the number 1717 on the screen in the game, like the Masonic headquarters is at the address 1717. Later in the movie, the young future star is invited to a party, a very secretive party on Mason Street, where it gets very satanic. And of course, there's been a lot of whistleblowers who've put out information saying that at the top of Masonry, it gets very satanic. Some people say that's not true. I couldn't tell you because I'm not a Mason at all, and I haven't been at the top degrees. But you start to see this stuff in Hollywood and start going, this start to line up with what the whistleblowers are saying. And again, if you do study Freemasonry, you'll find that modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. Again, the Jesuits are the military order of the Pope. Think about here in the United States, where the Super Bowl, the winner gets the Lombardi trophy. Lombardi was a Jesuit, and he died unexpectedly at Jesuit Georgetown one day before the 1970 season began. The merger season, and 70 is not an arbitrary number either, and the whole Gematria code Vatican equals 70. It also equals 47 and 25 in the base ciphers, like how the other year we had the first Super Bowl on the Vatican's birthday, and the winning score was 25. The score was 25-22, thus 47 points in the game, like Vatican equals 25 and 47. And so it factors in with the Masons studying the 47th problem of Euclid, and the first Super Bowl being in the 47th season of the NFL, kind of like how the first March Madness tournament was in the 47th year of the men's tournament. But yeah, this hymn movie, the end of the movie, and maybe this is where you want to plug your ears if you don't want me to ruin it for you. The goat who's training the baby goat, if you will, at his bunker of a complex in the middle of nowhere, he keeps telling him throughout the thing that when two men enter the arena, only one leaves. And you find out, at the end, these two men are going to meet in the arena. And the one who's the the senior goat, he doesn't really want to be replaced by this kid. He wants to fight him in the arena in his own home because he lives in this massive complex that literally is like a bunker underground. And there's a fight to the death. And plug your ears. Of course, the young guy wins. So the old goat is dead. He gets slaughtered, blood's everywhere. And then after he slaughters it's like he killed Tom Brady, right? It's like he killed Tom Brady. Guys won 8 Super Bowls in the movie. Even more than Brady. Brady's won 7, right? This guy had won 8. So he kills him. And then after he kills him in the arena, the door opens. And now he's supposed to go out and talk to the owner of the Saviors and the people that work at the top of the organization, including the agent who's been promoting him for his whole career. And when he gets out in front of these guys, they reveal to him that, the reason your father's dead is because of us. And, I'm sure anybody who followed my work knew right away when you found out his father was dead, you're like, well, it's just like what Zach's been talking about, how so many of these stars lose their fathers at young ages. What was it, 5 years ago for the NBA draft? Every time a player got drafted, they put almost like a Olympic gold medal around their neck. But what it was a picture of their dead parent, or both. Some of them had lost both their parents, so they got 2 of them. And it was almost everybody drafted in the first round. I was like, is anyone watching this? These guys are 18, 19, 20 years old. Usually when you're 18, 19, 20, your parents haven't died yet. Almost every guy drafted this round is getting one of these medals of their dead parent. I mean, that was one of the creepiest things ever. And our community was beside ourselves. We're like, can you believe they're doing this? But yeah, like I've always said, I mean, look at all these people that are prominent in high places too. A lot of them lost their fathers at relatively young ages. And I think part of why that is because it's easier to groom somebody if they don't have their father around to probably keep them on a better path. But yeah, the movie begins with the baby goat as a young child with his dad, and his dad and him watching a Saviors game, watching the GOAT, the guy who goes on to win 8 championships as a younger man, and the father telling the son, someday that's going to be you. It's going to be you. You're going to be him. And he's like, and he has the kid like saying, I am him. I am him. And later, the baby goat learns that his father had a connection to the owner of the team. I think he was a stadium worker or something. I think his father worked at the stadium. But anyway, they revealed to him that, yeah, we killed your father. Yeah, we killed your father. It was part of your path. They're like, we've been grooming you your whole life for this. You didn't know that we've had this planned out for you your whole life? And they're like, now come here and sign your name in the book in blood. Come sign your name in blood in the book. And then the book looks like this old witchcraft manual. Looks like an old witchcraft manual. And so the young goat is thinking, he's like, I didn't realize it was like this. So this has been planned for me my whole life. And these people are a bunch of weird satanic psychopaths. And I just had to fight the goat to save my life and kill the man. And I mean, just think about that too, you guys, because how many weird deaths are there connected to the league? Usually it's not a Tom Brady type, right? But it did happen with Kobe, at least so we were told. Usually it's just these more like B-rate, C-rate players, people that, yeah, I sort of remember them. It's usually not the bigger names, but sometimes it is. I mean, Demaryius Thomas, there's been some deaths like that too at a young age. Demaryius Thomas was a pretty top-tier player. But yeah, always all these just weird, strange, obviously ritualistic deaths connected to these leagues. And again, here you're seeing these super powerful, wealthy people are, they're making these blood sacrifices happen. But something else we've also speculated on is all this killing some kind of weird blood magic that is a real form of sorcery? Does it somehow ensure the outcomes? Does it make these miraculous things that we see happen? Does it make it happen? And by the way, early in the movie, he's doing his quarterback drill practice where he throws the ball at the goalpost to practice his accuracy. He's throwing the ball off the goalpost, and then one of the balls hits and then lands on the ground and just will not stop spinning. It's spinning faster than a top. And he's like, what the hell is going on? So he goes and looks at the ball, and then some kind of demon appears behind him and clubs him over the head. And by the way, you learn that the Saviors franchise made that ritual happen so that his draft stock would fall so they could get him where their pick is at, which is also part of the narrative. But anyway, I'm going to show you a quick clip of what happens near the end of this movie. The baby goat ends up murdering all these rich elite, which is obviously the thing that wouldn't happen, right? That's what they do to you in Hollywood. Like, yeah, I wish that would happen. I wish he'd murder these rich psychopaths, but we know that's not what really happens. Anyway, but that's what happens in the movie. And then the one guy who's his agent, he doesn't kill his agent. Instead, the devil does. And I just want you to see how I'm going to play a short clip of this, just a few seconds. And I don't have any sound, but this is right. He slaughtered everybody at this point. He's covered in blood. He's doing it with a sword. And here's his agent. Here's his agent's saying all kinds of things. I'll suck your dick, all kinds of things, just trying to stay alive. And instead he's like, you know what? I'm just going to leave you here for whatever reason. But then here's what happened. Watch this. Here's the witchcraft thing, right? Watch what happens. Pay attention because it's just going to happen in a snap of seconds. You see that? It's like some satanic force, right? It just pulls him right to the middle of the satanic pentagram and he's about to explode like there's dynamite in his body. Again, just like all this Hollywood stuff is so gory now. But I look at that and I say, yeah, you know, once upon a time I would have thought that was just Hollywood, but I really do feel that there is some kind of real witchcraft in this world. And again, it's just like how seconds earlier they're asking him to sign in blood in this book that looks like it's, you know, from a witch's laboratory. Everyone signs in the book, you know? Yeah, probably. And then just the other piece that I'm always educating about, you guys, they just have to show this. This is right before everything gets real demonic, right? He's in the sauna. Everything really, after this scene, the movie just goes into full demon mode. Right after this scene right here, you guys. They just got to throw this in, right?
The temperature here. 198, 199, 200, 201. Cut.
Cut. Him. 201. And what have we been saying, you guys? What have we been saying? You remember Super Bowl 55, the Satan Bowl between goat and baby goat? And again, a lot of people will say I'm evil for using this knowledge against them. But remember, we did help a man go from broke and homeless to having $85,000 in his pocket. Real story. He turned 85 into 85,000 off using the knowledge that he learned. He went and donated plasma and put futures on what we were talking about and turned $85 into 85,000. That's what you can do when you hit both exact teams for a future in the Super Bowl and parlay it with other futures with precision like that. We're talking about Cousin Mar. Shout out to Cousin Mar. But yeah, he came into our work that it was right around the George Floyd time. He caught the work right around then. We were putting out futures for free on the George Floyd streams, talking about everything going on and what it foreshadowed. And remember, Brady goes down to Tampa, and Tampa's in every sports championship. The Lightning win the Stanley Cup. The Rays lose to the Dodgers. The Dodgers broke the 32-year drought over the Rays, like there's 32 sun rays in the Jesuit Orders logo. But yeah, that was the Super Bowl 55. The GOAT versus the baby goat. And remember, Brady was 43 at the time. GOAT's 43, and in sports, it means greatest of all time, and greatest of all time is 188, and Super Bowl 55 was 188 days after Brady's 43rd birthday. And they had The Weeknd perform at halftime, and I forgot to write Fall In. Remember, The Weeknd did the halftime performance, and he came down with glowing red eyes like a fallen angel, like Satan. And look it up. The Weeknd literally flashes Satan on the billboards at his concerts. But that's who did the Super Bowl 55 halftime show. So again, just all these clues just keep building in the world of what's going on. But yeah, the Super Bowl 55 box score. How many yards did Brady have in that game? You guys remember? I remember how many yards he had. He had 201 yards. Brady, 201 passing yards. Again, Brady born while the country was 201 years old. Giselle, born July 20th, the 201st day of the year. ESPN. Here, I got an old archive post. Or here, I'll just pull it off of ESPN's way. Tom Brady, I think, rode to 201. Rode to 201. March to 201. Well, I mean, they didn't write an article about Brady's 200th win. They wrote an article about his 201st win. Okay? We've been talking about this stuff for a long time. A long time. The march to 201. And for the record, he did it versus the Rams. And again, outside of the base ciphers, the cipher that matters most is this one right here. Jewish, which Derek renamed Latin, but got the 201st win versus the Rams, the same team he beat in his first Super Bowl. But the point I'm also trying to make is it seems quite obvious that the world elite, they're into this satanic witchcraft, this dark side of Kabbalah. Remember this practice of coding numbers into words, which gives significance to the 201. It comes from Kabbalah, and the dark half is about sorcery and spell casting and having influence over others. And here we are on the Church of Satan's birthday, and I just want to remind you guys, Anton LaVey, the founder of the church, he died at a Catholic hospital in San Francisco where the Church of Satan was founded a couple days before Halloween, but it was 201 days after his birthday. 201 days. And I guess I put the screenshot. Anyway, again, the Jesuit Order 201, Order of Illuminati 201, that old serpent, that's a phrase that's used in the Bible to refer to Satan, 201. The Holy Bible 201, again, this idea of letters and numbers and Gematria, it does pertain to the Bible originally. Traditionally, the Torah, the Old Testament, but remember, the Catholics got their hand on this knowledge through the Crusades. They implemented the calendar and the language, and if the Catholic Church's real mission was power rather than, spiritual righteousness, if it was really about power, imagine, just seeking out power, and maybe you learn that the thing that really does have the most power in this world, and the Bible does say that, Satan is the ruler of this earth. You discover that, yeah, it really is Satan that's the ruler of the earth, and this is how you access Satan's power, and perhaps it is through this dark side of Kabbalah. Remember, also just another 201 is Jewish mysticism, which is another way of saying Kabbalah. And in the Hebrew, this has to do with light, like the Illuminati, who have the 201 code all over them. And tomorrow's their birthday. It's the Church of Satan's birthday, and then the next day it's the Illuminati's birthday. They're right next to each other. But yeah, not only did Anton LaVey die 201 days after his own birthday, he died 201 days before the sitting Pope's birthday, right? Who was Pope John Paul II. And don't forget, the Pope he replaced, there were two new popes in the year 78, like Jesuit 78, and the other one died right next to the anniversary of the Jesuits being recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. He was the 33-day Pope. But yeah, 201 days from the sitting Pope's birthday too. And again, who are these evil people? What organization are they running in the movie Him? They're in control of the saviors. The most evil people are the saviors. And to me, I look at this as the person I've been my whole life. Just being honest about things, not living like a coward, but just being honest about things. When I was 12, I came up in the church too. I came up praying to Jesus every night. Every night I didn't miss a prayer, always asking Jesus to help all the problems I saw. And I mostly prayed for other people rather than myself. I thought that's what you're supposed to do as a Christian, not so much about yourself, but all the problems you see other people having, praying for them every night. Help this person. I saw this person. Oh, this poor old lady today. Pray for her. Every day, totally into it. But then by the time I was 12, going through confirmation, I did have questions, and just asking questions, I got in trouble. And then I saw these other little kids there, these little brat, two-faced, liar phonies, just sitting there acting like goody two-shoes in class, and teacher just loving them. And I thought, look at how this works. Do they know what these kids are like outside of here? Because I do. Fake as hell. Frauds. Bad. The definition of bad. But they don't ask any questions. They just sit here and go along with everything. And, oh, man, they're so good. And then I watch, oh, yeah, your kid was great today in class. I was like, what was great? They just sat there and didn't say anything? They read when you asked them to read? That's great. That's greatness. And meanwhile, here I am out in the hall. I'm in the hall. Yeah, Zach was disruptive today. Why? Because I asked questions, because I pointed out that this doesn't really make that much sense to me. Can you clarify? And you didn't have the answer, so I had to go sit in the hallway. The third time I asked you a question, you didn't have an answer for it, so now I got to go sit in the hallway again. Please. Bullshit. And it was the same thing in school too, getting in trouble in school for questioning things. That's why I learned that at a young age. You question, hey, 9/11 happens. 2 towers become 0 before they became 1. If you missed today's earlier video I put out, maybe we should go over that real quick. Questioning 9/11, man, made me public enemy number 1 with everybody. Everybody and their mother hated my guts. But yeah, again, since it is the Church of Satan's birthday, I already did a video on this for people who watched it. I'll move through it real quick. Again, the Church of Satan moved from San Francisco to New York on the 35th birthday of the Church of Satan. We'll come up on 35 because, again, it's the winning score in the opening seconds of Him, the Savior's win with 35. But yeah, again, they moved to New York 134 days before 9/11 happened. And notice Make America Great Again's 134, right? That's not the most important 134 here, but just remember, Trump runs on MAGA, which is the highest degree of the Church of Satan, but he says it's Make America Great Again. And Trump was a prominent part of 9/11 because he introduced conspiracy theories that day. But yeah, anyway, 10 years later, Obama has Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner on that same day, the 45th birthday of the Church of Satan, and tells the joke that Trump will become the 45th president of the United States. And again, the Church of Satan's birthday is 45 days before Trump's. And again, look at Satan in the base ciphers, 55. Interesting, because Trump turned 55 the year that the Church of Satan moved to New York. Trump's from New York. Hell's Kitchen's in New York. 10 years to the day of it moving to New York, Trump's at the White House for the Correspondents' Dinner, and Obama's telling us he's going to become president. Keep in mind, Obama turned 55 right before Trump became president, and Barak means lightning in Hebrew. Satan comes to earth in a bolt of lightning, not to mention lightning equals 55. Trump's going to turn 80 this year with all this crazy shit going on. And then just that 35 thing. Again, Satan's also 35, like how the Saviors went with 35. And by the way, number 10 is a jersey you see all throughout him as well. Number 10. So you see the 35 at the beginning. You see a lot of 10. And remember, the election of Trump in 2016, who runs on MAGA, the highest degree of the Church of Satan, it was 96 days after Obama's birthday. Satanism, 96 and 120. The Church of Satan's birthday is the 120th day of the year, April 30th. And from the day that Trump was born to the day the Church of Satan was born was 7,260 days, which is the 120th triangular number. And by the way, from the day that Obama was born until the day that the Church of Satan was born, that happened in the 248th week of Obama's age of existence. President Donald Trump equals 248. In 2016, Hillary conceded while Trump was on 248 electoral college votes. In 2024, Trump wins while the country is 248 years old. But yeah, look, again, just that Church of Satan thing with all the 201s on the Church of Satan too. The Twin Towers were 2. They became 0. They became 1 World Trade Center. But look at that, 134 days before 9/11. Again, Tisha B'Av, which has been hijacked by the Synagogue of Satan, which is, again, Trump has his face on the coin to build the third temple, which is part of this Tisha B'Av prophecy. And don't forget, Israel's birthday is the 134th day of the year. But Tisha B'Av, 134, and in the Jewish cipher, 9/11, to remember the destruction of the 2 temples not far off from 2 towers. So, again, Satan, the father of lies, 9/11, probably one of the greatest lies ever told, super consequential. Event 201 and what transpired after that, talk about more lies. Trump connected to both those things very much, and so would be Obama. But yeah. So again, let's be real. What is having more power in this world? And maybe to be fair, is it all just one big thing? Is if the Catholic Church is actually what stands behind the Church of Satan, which all things point to that is exactly what the case is. Let's not forget that Church of Satan literally equals Society of Jesus. Church of Satan, 56. Society of Jesus, 56. If you weren't here for Cooties 19, the whole thing was 56. Everybody was a Jesuit in charge. I don't want to get into it right now, but it was 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began, too, in 2020, when he started at Fordham in 64. But, yeah, I mean, if the church is what's behind Satanism, I know a lot of you guys disagree with me on this, but again, without the Catholic Church, you don't know anything about Jesus. You don't know this story. You don't know the Bible. It's Rome and what eventually made the Roman Catholic Church that is the reason we know the story of Jesus and the Bible. And I just want you to think about how this satanic group runs the saviors, and you have all these Christians running around thinking they don't have to really do anything meaningful in this world other than believe, because then they'll be saved. And I'll remind you what's behind that word save, too. Save, 47. Christian, 47. Authority, 47. Government, 47. Caesar, 47. Here we are in the time of Trump, 47. Interesting, the beast, 47. The Catholics, confession, 47. Vatican, 47. Take it all the way to the president who swears on the Bible, president, 47. Like White House, like those letters DC. The Masonic City, when the Masons have their own Bible. Again, what's going on in him? In him, they're having, the Masons from the beginning to the end, the satanic parties on Mason Street. So, yeah, I mean, seriously, is it? And here, I just got to bring up this point too. There's this argument over the differentiation between Lucifer and Jesus. And just to point out, again, this 74 number in our language, English, Gematria, occult, Masonic. Don't forget the House of the Temple established in D.C. on the day leaving 74 days left in the year. This nation's birthday, 7-4. Holiday, 74. Apply numerology. Independence Day is 74. Like George Washington is 74. Like Jesus Christ is 74. But just with the most simple cipher, Jesus 74. Like cross, like Messiah, like gospel, like parables. Again, the story of Jesus is the gospel. He speaks in parables. For whatever reason, he speaks in riddles, just like how every day they put down riddles for you. But Lucifer is also 74. And again, I'm making the point that the Christian people I've known in my lifetime, for the most part, have not been good people. Out of all the Christians who've come through this community, the only one that I actually knew to be a good person was Jeremy. Shout out to Jeremy White, wherever he is. And I've always said, if every Christian was like Jeremy White, I'd probably still be a Christian. Part of what made me lose faith is just seeing the way other Christians behave. Fraudulent. And I thought, if this is a true spirituality, if believing in this is bringing people to greatness or empowerment or righteousness, then I would see it in the people, and I just didn't. And then I also noticed, I pray my ass off every night, and my prayers don't ever get answered. It seems like everything getting worse. And that's just when I started to realize, like, it didn't make me go, oh, well, I'm going to embrace Satan. If you listen to Mark Passio's story, that's essentially what he said. He said, well, I'm going to try out Satan then. It never made me think like, maybe I should go for the evil story. It just made me say, you know what? Nobody knows the truth when it comes to religion and spirituality. But I've always thought there's signs in the world that make me see like, yeah, there is something greater than us. And it made me think like, okay, I'm still going to take most of my Christian teachings. Be a good person. Live by the golden rule. Pursue truth. Help people when you can. You see someone in need, help them. And that's how I've always been. And a lot of times you get frustrated because you're like, what is the point of helping people? God, it just brings more problems into my life. But then you just do it anyway because it's the right thing to do. And lo and behold, you find out these people that are what I would say are in a cult, any religion. They're like, what? You don't believe though? Oh, I don't know about you then. I remember I was in Tacoma, Washington. I was going to my cousin's birthday party. I just parked on the street, and there were some Bible thumpers going down door to door. And, they got me as I was coming out of my car, and I had, a present in my hand. What did I just say? A present in my hand for my cousin. And I was already running a little bit late to the party, but they were, they were trying to recruit me. And I said, I was listening. I always entertain the religious people when they come to the door because I like to have conversations, but I was talking to them for a while. And I was explaining to him why I didn't believe anymore, but I still thought, living like Jesus was the right way. And at the time I was in school and I was working at the group home and the teen homeless shelter. And I was just saying, yeah, I don't exactly believe anymore, but I still try to do the right things. Right now I'm going back to school to get my education, and I'm volunteering at a homeless shelter, and I'm working at a group home. And the guy was like, well, doing all that doesn't even matter if you don't believe in Jesus. And I said, well, I just completely disagree with you. And he's like, no, that's what I mean. But it's just like, there's no point even elaborating on this story because this is just how these religious people are. It's like, you really think that doing good actions doesn't matter? Just believing in a story matters. I mean, that's why it's nonsense when you look at most of these Christians. These people are sitting around believing in a story that might very well be complete nonsense, and it might have been created by the most evil people in the world to manipulate you and keep you powerless, putting power outside of yourself while they do whatever they know is the real dark art of this world that gives them more and more power. That's kind of how I look at things, because you look at the way the world power structure is, it's getting more and more powerful, and it's being just more and more evil as time goes on, and it's lying to you more and more. And you see most of the masses just seem oblivious to all of it somehow, as amazing as it is. And then you just see the religious people, which is a diminishing group as well. And sometimes I debate on that. Sometimes I'll go back, well, what if we were all just really a Christian believing? I mean, I don't. Anyway, let me open it up. If you guys want to join the stream, I did pin the link to join. I'll post it one more time. I want to hear from you guys. And if I don't get any more participation, I probably am not going to ever do another live stream on here, because quite frankly, I feel like the people who are still around here, which is hardly anybody, just I don't see anybody that's willing to participate, and that just feels like I'm just wasting my time. I'm wasting my time. People can't participate back. I feel like the audience I have now, they're not worth the time. And also, I'm about to run out of time, so I'm not going to have a lot of time going forward to do many live streams. Like I said, I'll keep doing short videos and keeping up with the news. There's not going to be a whole lot of live streams. And if there's zero participation today, I might just never, ever do another live stream again. And by the way, for all you Christian weirdos, as I would describe you, who've taken over this community, you guys all shout each other out. You do shitty decodes and claim Jesus, even though, who knows if you even really believe what you're saying. I would like you guys to call in, because I know you're here. You guys are always copying my work and then giving credit to the other Christian weirdos who didn't figure out any of this stuff. Only yours truly did. And again, for all you Christians too who think you're superior, ask yourself why you don't have the stamina I do. You haven't seen anybody else be here every single day for going on 13 years straight and have to put up with all the shit I have and all the obstacles I have and just keep pumping it out anyway. So again, don't tell me about how holier than thou you are because of what you believe in. There's zero to support anything you're saying. You haven't proven you have the stamina I have. You haven't put out anything in the world this powerful that exposes what's really going on. But what I do really want you to address today and think about is what has more power. Does your religion have more power than what these world elite are into? And I'm not saying you should join what they're doing, but maybe what they're into is real. And maybe what you're into, which seems to be powerless against what they're doing, maybe it's not real. Maybe they gave you just a bunch of fake nonsense, by the way, which promotes human sacrifice, which they're into. No doubt they're into human sacrifice. That's what this whole satanic movie's about, is sacrifice. Isn't that your belief system? God sacrificed his living son for you. And what good has that done for the world? Let's be honest. All right. So anyway, I'm going to drop the link right now. We got nobody back here. I got other things to do. So if I don't see people back here quick, I'm just going to wrap this stream up. And yeah, Zachary Aba. We'll see if this is a real person or if this is one of these. Zachary Aba.
Hey man, how's it going? It's actually pronounced Alba.
Oh, is there an L in there? I
Yeah,
couldn't see the
Alba.
L. My eyes are getting bad. Alba, my bad.
All good, man. Hey, my name's Zachary, just like you. I was raised Lutheran as well, and I am no longer a Christian. I really enjoy your live streams. I gotta say, I do enjoy tuning in. I like watching your videos. I feel like I learn a lot every time. So just wanted to show some love. But I also
as we're two Zacharys who were both raised Lutheran, what made you abandon ship?
Well, I think I went to a lot of these Lutheran conventions, national youth gatherings and whatnot, and I realized that these people that I was around were not people I wanted to be around, and I did not necessarily align myself with anything that was going on. I did not feel God or feel close to any sort of like spirituality when I was at these. In fact, that's where I felt the furthest, right? So it was really, just being kind of turned off by the culture of it all. But I just seen how the Bible has been used to manipulate and run the entire world is sort of like a big like, you know, awakening point for me for sure, in terms of like not necessarily believing the Bible. I think a lot of the Bible is somewhat divinely inspired, but you could say that about a ton of books. And I don't think that believing in Jesus is the only way to go to the good place, so to speak, at all.
And it could just have nothing to do with anything at the end of the day. It could have absolutely nothing to do with anything. Just a story that was sold to you by the authorities, just like how they sell you fake stories all the time. The authorities also sold you guys, and remember, you guys, it was the Society of Jesus that put on the whole Cooties 19 show, and everything they told you to do to protect yourself. Did it protect you, or did it create more problems in your life?
Right.
And again, you just see another Jesuit ritual with the, if you missed this last night, again, right here, you guys, just straight up mockery, the death of the Melrose Place actor at 57 from essentially a myocarditis, a heart attack. Born on the super important date of the Jesuits, the anniversary of them being recognized by the Roman Catholic Church, dead on the anniversary of Ignatius Loyola being recognized as Superior General. I did a video on this last night. But dead at 57 from a heart attack when his character name was Richard Hart in the show. And, you know, the 157 word I didn't put up here is, you know, the one, again, the same one that we used to predict why the Moderna stock was going to shoot to the moon on May 7th, which it did. Dead at 57 from myocarditis. How about it, you guys? That's the story. I don't think that's what really got him, but a lot of people have gone out from similar reasons, and he's dead at 57. So please go ahead.
Hey, there's one more thing I wanted to tell you, man. So I was reading your book, Number Games, 9/11 to Coronavirus, really enjoying it. And I was just reading it at work, right? I'm a substitute teacher for a public school, and I actually got in trouble, and I ended up getting fired, or I guess temporarily fired. I had to like talk to someone
because of the book.
Yes, because of the book.
Do you know who ratted you out, or did you bring it up to somebody?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I was just reading it, right? And a student, 8th grader, asked me, "Hey, like, what are you reading?" And I just kind of started the book. I didn't really know much about it at the time, but I just told him basically, this guy's pointing out some interesting numbers in world events. So this, the first page of this book is about the Flight 77 hitting the 77-foot tall Pentagon, etc. Right? So I told the child this, which, maybe that was wrong because it wasn't district approved, but I don't necessarily think that that's
all it takes right there. You went off script. You weren't following the curriculum. And again, right. I got blacklisted from my profession. I don't know if you know this. I'm a certified school teacher in Washington State. I'm blacklisted. Really? I was never going to monetize my work. I was actually going to go back into teaching in 2018, and I got hired, and I got fired before I got hired because they said, "Oh, never mind, you're not eligible for to work in this district because of the book you wrote." So
wow, man, it's just crazy they can do this. Like, I mean, I was honestly shocked. I didn't expect this at all. Like, I don't know. I didn't really think that it was a problem, like, to tell a child about a book you're reading. I'm not endorsing. I'm not even endorsing the book, right? I'm saying,
think about what that says about our education system. Just think about what that says right there.
Right, and it's not even necessarily anything crazy. It's just a fact. Anything you could look up, it's on the official 9/11 report, right? It's just a series of facts.
I got in trouble while I was a teacher for teaching kids about how MLK gave a speech a year to the day of his death about what's wrong with the U.S. military system. And I mean, again, I was just told to stick to "I have a dream." Like,
right.
This isn't a real education system. This is indoctrination. This is leave out the information that's not comfortable for the state.
It's just so sad, right? Because I want to be a public servant. I want to work with kids so bad, but I'm not going to lie to a kid to keep my job, right? Like, I don't think that's that's godly at all. I don't think Jesus would do that if we were to follow Jesus. So I
don't think so either.
Shit, crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Well, it's good to know there's another Zach Lutheran on a similar life path out there. Sorry you got fired over my book, but yeah, be careful. All teachers, definitely don't bring this one in the school if you want to keep your job.
Yeah, I'm honestly thinking, like, I'd concede, like, if a kid asked me what I'm reading, I could say, I'm not allowed to talk about it, right? I feel like that I could sit with that and be okay with that. But you know, if they want me to say, because like there's another thing, they were upset with the way I framed the lesson because I said Andrew Jackson was cruel to Native people, or I said that he was,
which is true, which is definitely true.
Right. I mean, I didn't think there was anything problem with what I said, honestly. But yeah, I guess there was a para in the room with me, and she didn't like the way I framed the lesson for the kids because, well, the speech, it was a speech from Andrew Jackson. It was all about how, you know, he's saving the indigenous people, he's bringing civilization to them. He makes himself sound so great, and you know, like this is just being presented to a kid. There's no context, right? Like I don't understand where this, like this needs like a sort of like contextual understanding before a kid would read it, I would think. So I just kind of gave a little talk to each class, and apparently that was a problem too. So you know, if they want me to lie, I don't like, there's no way they want me to lie and say Andrew Jackson was like, not like, why would I not say something objectively true? I just don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's what we realize about school. It's not really here to teach you truth. It's here to teach you to believe in your state and become a good citizen that serves the state and pays its taxes. So, yeah, it's not here to make you question.
It's just sad, man. We got to have some sort of abolishment of this shit and like a reinstitution of.
Well, that's what I've been thinking about a lot lately with my daughter, and just in the future, because knowing what they did, again, you guys, if you're not aware, look into what happened last year on May 20th, Cannonball Day, the day to remember the founder of the Jesuits getting shot. You know, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, World Health Organization, all the same people that simulated cooties, they came out with the pandemic declaration about how the next time there's a pandemic, they're going to make sure everybody gets those shots and a lot faster. To me, that means they must be going after things like religious exemptions in school. And to me, that means in the future, there might not be any way to keep your child from getting the pokey dokes. And again, they want everybody to get the shots and a lot faster next time. There has to be some kind of resistance that forms against this. And I don't see anything like that happening in the world. There was very little resistance during Cooties 19. And the next time they'll probably scare people even more. They'll make it seem even scarier and just get that many more people in line. And then people will learn the hard way again that, oh, actually the thing that was bad was the thing I got poked with. So yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Is there any real way to create a movement, create some kind of way that there can be schools where people actually have freedom to choose? Yeah, I want my child to go to that school and be taught by that person and go along with the you know, the medical policies for that school, because almost everywhere right now, you look into anything, daycare, anything, almost everybody wants your child to be all filled up with the shots. And yeah, I mean, there's just not a whole lot of alternatives out there, which is pretty depressing. So somehow, some way, I'd like to create a movement, but I feel pretty powerless as a person right now. I mean, I've been on the grind for 13 years, and viewership's never been worse. Support's never been worse. I mean, when I first bought StreamYard 5 years ago, I couldn't keep the back room. It was just packed. People always wanted to come in here and talk. Now I have to beg people to come on here and talk, and people just don't come on. So. Anything else you want to throw out there, Zachary?
Nah, man. I think I'm gonna go try to get some sun. You know what I'm saying?
Good idea. Good idea. All right, man. Nice talking to you.
You too, man. Peace out.
All right, take care. All right. I think we had this Evan Blamer in the room last time. Did we get to talk to you last time, Evan Blamer?
Are you talking to me, Zach?
You're the one with Evan Blamer is the name.
Zach, can you hear me?
I do.
I got nothing here.
Oh, I hear you. Go.
You can hear me. Well, if you can hear me, I'm seeing you nod, so I'll just say what I got to say. And thankful for your work. And I just want to encourage you to keep going. Don't give up on the little lives. You're 100% right about the Christians. And, well, the bulk of them. I kind of tend to believe that Christianity itself is kind of a riddle. It's a lot of goofy stories in there. And you're absolutely right. Like, it's about action. So don't know what I really have to add to you. Just telling you not to give up. You got a lot of guys out there that the only reason they're still kicking is because the because to tap out is against the rules. So, and that's kind of me too. So, the fact that you're catching on, they've got a powerful current there. They're tapping into the metaphysical forces. I think that stuff is real, and just trying to solve more riddles as we go. So, that's about all I got to say, because I can't hear you right now, which is a little bit fucked, but sorry. All right. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Just to be clear, you guys, I'm not saying I'm quitting. I'm just saying I'm not going to do live streams anymore. I don't have time. I've been helping out my family, but they're getting older and they're saying watching the little ones is too tiring for them. And I get it. I mean, I want them to enjoy the end of their life. And I don't want to send my daughter off to have other people watch her. I'd rather just be with my own child and just know she's getting the best treatment and, just work on, having fun with her and educating her. She's starting to understand a lot of things. It's crazy. It's crazy how much little ones understand. You realize they know more than you think they know. And it's funny how you don't remember that part of your life, but how big of a personality you can have and how much you can really already understand. It's interesting being that age, because most of us don't have a memory when we're 1.5 years old, but you already have a lot of personality and ability and interests and preferences. It's the human experience is interesting because, like you see a lot of these mammals, the baby comes right out of the mom and it's already swimming instantly. It can walk right away, but a human takes a while. It's just the human being. It's just such an interesting experience. But yeah, I do worry about, I used to say, if you watch me when I first started, I said, I don't think I'll have children, even though I love children, because I don't want to bring them into this world. And I started to realize, well, now I'm falling for the depopulation agenda. And how's the world going to get better if you don't have? But so it's a tough thing being a parent, I mean, it's fun, but yeah, the world I think about the future for all the little ones. And I have always thought about that, just looking more bleak. But if somehow, some way people can come together and fight the powers that shouldn't be, it doesn't need to be this way. Karen, what's up, Karen?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Zach, thank you for taking my call. I called a while ago. My boyfriend, I was trying to teach him or show him about Gematria. We called and he was just all not getting it. But anyway, I just want to thank you. You are truly brilliant. As far as religion and the Bible and Christ, and I was raised Roman Catholic in Chicago, and I always questioned, always going to church every week, CCD, all that stuff, confirmation. I would, question, like, it just doesn't make sense, Mom. And she didn't know anything about the Bible. She never.
Uh-oh. You could tell the signal went out there. Did the robotic fade? We'll stand by. Hopefully Karen comes back, because it sounds like a similar story here. And it's funny, every Lutheran church has IHS just all over the place. And in the Lutherans, they say it means in his service. But please, the Jesuits took over this whole damn thing. It's Isus Hominum Salvator all day. We might have lost Karen all the way there. Yeah, we don't have any other participation. You know what? Since we don't have participation, I'll jump into one other thing. There was a lot of feedback on the stream I did or the short video I did on Young Pharaoh last night. I'll talk a little bit about COINTELPRO, because it's what the truth community is full of. And a lot of you guys just aren't savvy to it. You don't understand COINTELPRO. You think some of these people sell out. That's not what's going on. It's just like Bruno. I'll just use Bruno Mars for the example. Bruno Mars, he's making music. Parents don't mind to play it for their little children because it's mostly just all nice and fun. And he came from the world of Disney, and it almost feels like a nice Disney movie. But remember, Disney does weird things. They put weird things in the background. They got hidden erections and sex in the clouds. It's like, why are they doing this for little kids? Does a little kid need to pick up on an erection in the background? The word sex in the clouds? What's this about? But, next thing you know, it's 3 or 4 albums later, and Bruno Mars is now talking about, stuff you don't want your kids to hear about and being locked out of heaven. And now he's hooked up with the gangster rappers, and he's doing just, what? How did this happen? It's the same thing with COINTELPRO. They come on and they're saying things like, yeah, I think that's right. That sounds right. Okay. And then a few months later, like, wait, wait a minute, is that right? Hold on, now I'm getting confused. Well, he got a bunch of views and a whole bunch of likes, and I'm reading the comments, and okay, maybe that is the direction. Okay, maybe that's actually what it is. Again, young Pharaoh, you guys. If you know who young Pharaoh, here, hold on. Since we don't have callers and we lost Karen, you're welcome to call back. Let me put this up here. Somebody left a video last night and they said, did you know that Gary, the numbers guy, and young Pharaoh had a debate, Zach? They said, you should watch it. So I had this playing in the background this morning, and oh my God, I have to decode the Kentucky Derby tonight. I might just do a stream where I don't really say much and just let this play in the background, because it almost is better than any Hollywood comedy I've seen anytime lately. But yeah, again, you guys, Gary, let me see if Karen's here first. Karen, did you get reconnected? I think we lost her. That's too bad. Now, I noticed in their debate, can you guys see that young Pharaoh has my post up on the screen for the Gary the Numbers guy and young Pharaoh debate? He's got it right up on the screen. And I don't know if the whole thing's not here, so I don't know if eventually they got to that post. But yeah, for people who don't know, Gary the Numbers guy, of course, his fame has grown quite a bit because somehow he became connected to the Trump White House, and what is it? Fresh and Fit started promoting him, and some other people, Sneeko, all these no doubt COINTELPRO people. But for people who've been around, they know Gary and I used to go back and forth, and Gary used to be a nobody, and Gary lived in yours truly's shadow, and that's right where he should still belong, because, you know, he doesn't belong anywhere else. Gary's a lying fraud capper that's just totally full of shit and has no ethics. And Gary's claim to fame was copying my pick on LeBron coming back. Well, I told people all year why LeBron was going to win the finals on King James' real birthday, and a lot of haters were like, oh, you're wrong, he's down 3-1. And I said, no, I see 40-1 odds on the comeback right now. It's never been it. It didn't even pay that much at the start of the season. So, yeah, Gary, of course, got to go on live TV in Cleveland and share that LeBron was going to come back and win it on the real King James birthday. Gary didn't even know about any of that. Gary used to call into TFR. If you guys don't know TFR, that was Truth Frequency Radio, my Wednesday night radio program on, well, TFR was the radio network, and my show was GematriaEffectNews every Wednesday night. But Gary would call in almost every single week and try and, you know, start something and do a pissing match. And Gary embarrassed himself week after week. He would call in with the wrong picks, and that postseason, the 2016 postseason, where his hometown Cleveland lost to the Cubs. I mean, we told you at the start of the season why the Cubs were going to win that World Series, and we told you it was the 112th World Series, and they'd win it on November 2nd, 112, because mathematics equals 112, geometry equals 108, Major League 108, 108 double stitches on a baseball. They were going to break the 108-year drought in the 112th season on 11-2. Exactly what they did. And of course, my preseason pick was the Cubs to beat the Astros, which wasn't quite right. The Astros went on to win the World Series the next year, which we did get right. But midseason, when I saw the Astros weren't the team, I did tell people it was going to be over Cleveland. Now, again, Gary, through that whole 2016 postseason, couldn't get a damn series right. Every series he was wrong about. When the World Series was finally set, Cleveland versus Chicago, he guaranteed Cleveland would win and I would be wrong. And I said, no way, Gary. I mean, Gary back then was making fun of Gematria. And if you guys know Gary, he's now partnered up with somebody who goes by Gematria Club. And by the way, Gematria Club learned from me too. And he wanted me to monetize my work and go into business with him way back in 2014, 2015. And I said, no, I said, I'm here to do this for free. And I did do everything for free for over 5 years, you guys. And I might have still done it for free if it had the FBI and getting banned from my profession. All that shit didn't happen. That's what made me monetize. Because Sweet Lady was beside herself when all that happened. That was in the end of 2018 when I monetized. But Gary, just being the scumbag that he is. And by the way, Gary didn't have a following back then. If you watched Gary's YouTube channel, he couldn't muster 50 views. But Gary literally went online and cried and said the reason the Indians didn't win was because of the rain delay, which messed up the numerology, and also because the manager didn't put in the right pitchers following the numerology path. I mean, just stop with the cap, moron. Of course, the Cubs in the 108 city were going to break the 108-year drought when there's 108 double stitches on a baseball. But Gary went online and cried and acted like a little bitch. And then he launched a website to attack me called Gematria Fraud. Now, meanwhile, look at Gary go around and act like he knows all about Gematria and he's the expert. And here he is partnered with the guy who also learned from me. And Gary has to start every single show saying, I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT in numerology. It's just like, dude, no, you're not. I don't know who you are, but you have a bunch of trolls that go around and lie for you. You get your Super Bowl pick wrong every single year, and then they go around and say you've hit the Super Bowl 10 years in a row when you've never hit a Super Bowl future in your life. But anyway, Gary, big cap, big liar, big fraud, debating young Pharaoh. When you guys were leaving comments last night, they're like, nah, man, young Pharaoh was the truth. When was young Pharaoh ever the truth? He was a race-baiting troll from the moment he showed up on YouTube, getting big views out of the gate. I know a lot of the history because I've been here longer than almost everybody. There's not many people that have been in the truth community for as long as me and pumping out. Almost everyone has quit that was around from when I started. There's hardly anybody that still exists. For one reason or another, they're gone. Young Pharaoh came into the game about 2 years after I was into it, and right away people were like, Zach, you got to check out Young Pharaoh. And I was like, how can people be recommending Young Pharaoh? What is Young Pharaoh on his channel teaching? That white people are a parasitic race? What is that? That's just that I understand that there's a major, and think about that, you guys. When I came here, I was trying to heal the racial division being created in the media. Young Pharaoh, by the way, Young Pharaoh, another one of these people that got out of prison early. He got out of a 15-year sentence after what, two years served, and immediately went into doing social media and getting big views right away. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what it is, but there's some program. Somebody told me it's called Project Pogo. I don't know that that's true. There is some program with people getting out of prison and going into social media and becoming essentially co-intel pro in the truth communities. You know, Young Pharaoh has the gift of gab. He's got that little weasel squirrel voice, but he can talk real fast. And he just keeps babbling. And for dumb people, they're like, oh, man, this must be the truth. All he's talking is nonsense and bullshit. And for anyone with a brain, it's obvious that it's lies. And you guys, don't take this the wrong way. Some people are going to interpret this as racist. I don't think intelligence is based on skin color, but there is something going on in this country because of the history of racism and what's been done to the education system and how certain communities have been filled with darker complected people, and those communities are purposely given the worst teachers. First of all, a lot of people just don't even want to teach in those communities, and then because of No Child Left Behind, who ends up teaching there are the teachers who do poorly at other schools. They get demoted to those schools. That's the way it works in No Child Left Behind. But essentially, the darker complected people end up getting the worst of the worst when it comes to education, and then because they're the worst educated, they become the most gullible to the biggest piles of bullshit. Such as, for example, this is also going to make people butthurt. Look at when Jubilee does a flat earth debate. Almost everybody on there arguing that the earth is flat are black. And that's not to say that black people are dumber. It's to say that because of the absolute dog shit education they've gotten, they're susceptible to flat earth bullshit. They're susceptible to a con man like Young Pharaoh or even GG33. I know GG33, most of his subscriber base is also black. And would they be subscribed to him if they knew about yours truly? Of course not. Why would you subscribe to somebody who makes you sign an NDA, charges you way more, and does a dog shit job of calling games and futures day after day as he caps about how great he is when he's absolute dog shit? Every year he picks the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. When was the last time the Ravens won the Super Bowl? Please. Anyway. Let me show you what it looks like. Or hold on, let's take Dre G's call real quick, and then I'll show you what it looks like when COINTEL Pro have a debate. And I do want to know why my post is up there, because they didn't get to that in the clip I have. Anyway, what's up, Dre G?
Hey, Zach, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, man. Listen, man, I'm just calling in just to stand up for my Christian brothers and sisters, man. You know, I came across your channel back in the when Trump first got into the office. So it definitely, I went down a rabbit hole and then came across Gematria, and you know, I saw a lot of weird, like a lot of interesting stuff, and it did help for the most part, trying to make sense of it. and understanding that these are ritualistic things that they do, right? And my whole thing is like, it just seems like, you pick on these guys, Christians, more than any other.
Right, because it's the dominant religion here in this country. That's why.
It's a dominant religion, but it's for a reason, right? There's something behind it. There's a power behind.
Well, if we were in Saudi Arabia, would it be the dominant religion?
If we were in Saudi Arabia, would it be the dominant religion? No, but if you look at it in the Middle East, in the Asia, in Europe, and in the Americas, South and North, it has taken over. Where
the colonizers have gone.
What do you mean by that?
Just exactly what I just said. Where the colonizers have gone, they've spread their faith.
Okay, all right.
They weren't able to defeat all the people in the Middle East, which is why again, I mean,
here's the thing, right? Like when Christianity became popular and it took over, obviously when something seems correct, something seems truth, something that is moving the world, people that are in charge will kind of, attach to that and use that for their own good and well-being. Think about this. If all the other religions or any other sect was true, would it be infiltrated the way Christianity is infiltrated? You look, if something is truly the truth, right? Wouldn't the people that are in charge go after that, because then they'll use that to have leverage on the people? I mean, how do we explain some things like the Shroud of Turin, right? I mean, even
what does that explain? What does that explain?
Well, it explains that there was this cloth that was wrapped around a man, and that something that a powerful kind of light that even the technology now we wouldn't be able to do or replicate, where it created some kind of a flash where the imprints of this man that was crucified went into this cloth. And even scientists that reject Jesus, that want to reject Jesus, they can't refute it, because it's like, how did you get this image on a cloth?
Well, to be fair, there's a lot of scientists that refute it. I'd say probably the vast majority do. Okay,
but you can't say vast majority. We don't know exactly what the percentage is, right? Let's just say 50-50.
Can you imagine? This is where Christians go to. That a piece of cloth is.
No, I got more. I can like,
let's start with, that's where you start as your number one proof.
No, this is an open conversation. I'm not a pro in terms of all the things
but that's a common proof of the Jesus Christ, a piece of cloth.
No, it's not. It's just the movement around the world and the people that feel it in their hearts, right? I've heard you say a long time ago that that you want to believe in there's like some kind of creator, some kind of intelligence, right? Some kind of intelligence out there that it's behind all this. Well, let's think about that. Like, I don't know what the story of this. There's a story about a king who was just a regular folk and started commuting so he can see what the people are saying about his kingdom, so he can see if he's doing a good job or not. I mean, what's wrong with, if there is a creator and he's intelligent, why is it so hard to believe that he can?
Why are you so certain it's a he?
Okay, but I'm talking about Jesus himself, the man, right?
How come Jesus said a man who gets married to a divorced woman is an adulterer, but he didn't say that the other way around?
Well, we can divulge deep into all the things that you're saying, right? But when you come to an example, a true example of somebody who is humble, serving, right? Who more than this person out of the whole world? Forget all the authors, forget all the kings. Who will even come close to the way that this man did in this earth? Like, there's not even a comparison.
So just for example, in this time of mega Satanism and this evil leader we have, what has Jesus done here in recent times to expose the evil ruling over us?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? We know about free will. Otherwise, we'd all be robots, Zach. So he's given free will. God, the creator, even in the Old Testament, being the Father, prior to Jesus coming in the flesh, he's given free will. He's given free will to everybody. If you want to do this, that's what's going to happen. You're not going to make them all robots to come. Otherwise, we wouldn't even need Earth. Everybody would be just marching in a line, praising the Lord and saying, hey, let's just keep marching. But there's something to this earth, right? There's a choice. God doesn't want you to be forced to come to him. He wants you to make the decision to come to him. He wants to be chosen. Your wife doesn't, she came to you because she loved you, right? You didn't force her to love you. So he's not going to play by those rules. And don't ask me why that is. It's just this one big mystery. We're all in this together. Those guys are not Christians. The people in charge are not Christians. I'm telling you right now, they use it again the same way the Romans used it back in Constantine time. These guys are not Christian at all. Okay, even Trump said, I'm not going to heaven. This is the Air Force One is as closest to heaven that I'm going to get. He said it. We talk about all the weird things that happen around him, the people that have fell off, that have died, and he has risen because of the rituals, right? Like, look at the way Hollywood, the movies and the shows depict Jesus and the way they trash him and make fun of him. If he was really a
Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example?
Oh, 100. I can give you 100 examples, maybe not today, but I can give you a
get
great
start
one.
name. I want to hear them.
100%, 100%. So, Curb Your Enthusiasm. We know who makes those, that show, huh?
Yeah, Larry David, who flashes 201 on the screen for Jesuit-run HBO. Okay, but
yes, sir. Let me say the example.
Hold on. I've seen the first season of Curb Your Enthusiasm about 20 years ago, but what do they do on there?
So what they do on there is
he makes fun of Judaism all the time. To be fair, he pretty much trashes his own religion. I'm very much aware of that. So I'm very much aware of how, as a Jew, he attacks his own faith.
If you want to talk about how many things in the shows, in the movies, and television are trashing Jews, we're talking about. I just think
starting with Curb Your Enthusiasm might not be the best place because again, he goes after his own religion more than anything.
But okay, you told me to give you an example about Hollywood shows.
You said there's a lot of examples. I didn't think that was a very strong starting point, to be perfectly honest, because I know he attacks his own faith more than anything else. But
I got you. Just pick any movie you want. There's always something where the word Jesus Christ is used as a curse word. How many times do you see on TV atheists who are actors, okay, Jews that are Jews, saying Jesus Christ? Ben Stiller says it in every freaking movie. Why are you using the Lord's name?
Okay, I can accept that, but it's also language is contagious, right? You have a group of friends, they all start saying some phrase, next thing you're saying, even though you don't want to.
No, don't say.
I try not to say Jesus Christ, but sometimes it just comes out because it's just so commonly expressed, Jesus Christ. But okay, that's your argument that they use Jesus Christ in movies. Okay,
because there's power behind it, Zach. Don't say it, right? He's not your God. Don't say it. Hey, Hollywood, don't say it. He's not your God. You hate him. Do not say that name.
Well, so here I'm just going to come back with a counter argument. I've seen a lot of movies that Hollywood is very supportive of the Catholic Church. It makes the Catholic Church, sacrosanct. It's the holiest of the holies. They're fighting all the demons.
Is that why they make all the? Is that why they make all the? Is that why they make all the priests like there's some fucking pedos?
So give me an example of a Hollywood movie that does that. I'm sure there's some, but that's not how Hollywood normally portrays the Catholic Church.
Every movie, even the depiction, the comic movie, the one that they try to make fun of all the scary movies. I think it's called Scary Movie. They're trying to make fun of all the way they depict priests joking around and being sexual and things like that, and with children. They have desecrated that religion, and it's everywhere. The fact that you're asking, I don't know, you must not watch movies. It's in every single movie. Why would they hate?
Start naming them. You said there's 100 movies, so let's just start naming them.
I don't know. I don't know on top of my head. I can message you after, but it's every single one. Like I don't know what to say. Like you watch
every single one, but you can't specifically name one.
Okay, so I told you about Curb Your Enthusiasm, but you don't want to take
a TV show with Larry David, who's a prominent Jew with a sarcastic attitude about almost everything in society and culture, including his own faith, which he hammers on religiously.
I get it, but are we going to sit here and claim that Christianity is not made to be like the worst thing ever in every single show in Hollywood? Are we going to really say that?
Yeah, I would say.
How about CNN? How about CNN? Okay. How about this?
So are you telling me that Hollywood isn't really big on promoting a lot of these things that are major Christian traditions like Christmas?
Yes, because they have a lot of power, because they have rejected him, and because it seems like he's the truth, they have to mock him. The same way they
The
spit when
Passion of the Christ, huge movie, one of the biggest movies of the last 20-some years. Was that mocking?
No, that wasn't mocking, but I heard you say something about his eyes shut and there's a weird position from the back that he does something. I don't know about all that, man, but you got me thinking about it because truly, if you're gonna do something about a movie about Jesus and then mock
Okay, I
it,
just want listen. Since you made this claim that they're mocking all the time, there must be some scene in your head that's just the most obvious mocking ever. Unless we're just going to say that they use the phrase "Jesus Christ" sarcastically in a lot of movies. Is that really what it boils down to?
okay, dude, I'm saying like in scary movies, everybody's playing like a priest and they're doing things like sexually, right, with that girl that was possessed. Like I don't have at the top of my head, right?
I can think a lot of scary movies that are centered on the Catholic Church, but ultimately it's God and the Catholic Church and the cross and the holy water that fights off the demons. I mean, there's a lot of that.
That's true, because I think they need to make money off of these movies and they got to show some truth. And why do they keep showing those types of truth, right? Maybe there's something to it. I'm just saying, maybe there's something to it for bashing Christians every time, but you don't call out the Muslims or the atheists or whatever, and you make it as if like Christianity.
Well, I always say I'm not a fan of any religion, actually, but
okay, but you talked about.
I make the point from my own life perspective that the Muslims I've known have been just better human beings than the Christians I've known. I mean, that's just me being honest about what I've experienced.
Christians have supported you more than any other religion. You've said it yourself out of your mouth, and then you talk shit about that. I don't remember
saying that. Christians have supported me more than I don't ever remember saying that.
You said that. You said a lot of your viewers that come on and listen to this Gematria stuff is because they were Christians, but for whatever reason, they're the worst, right? They're waiting for Jesus to come. They're waiting for, ain't nobody waiting for Jesus. Buddy, listen, I don't think you know, but whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, atheist, or whatever, ain't nobody gonna pick up their arms and go do what you think they're going to do. Everybody's waiting for Jesus, because don't say that Christians are waiting to pick up their sword. You know everybody's gonna get shot down and taken right out if you go do what you think you want them to do to stand up. You can't stand up to this beast system without losing your life and your loved ones. You tell people, oh, when Christians are going to stand up.
I haven't been standing up to the beast system for going on 13 straight years.
And I appreciate it. You did help some people.
People can't do it. You just said people can't do it.
Yeah, but okay, you want to stand up? You want to stand up to it? You still have all your Patreons and stuff like that. If they were really upset with you, they would cut you off right off of that.
When I went to New York, exactly half of them were cut off just in 2 weeks. It was amazing. I was like, wow, how does that happen?
Just remember, you're still in the circle, because if you step out of line, you will lose everything you have, my friend. You will lose the Patreon. You would lose the YouTube. You would be really bad. You want to know who's really saying the truth? It's the person who's banned from all platforms. And I don't want to say the name. They're out there. Those are the real truth seekers. And let's talk about the original truth.
I've been kicked off of every platform except for Kick, because I haven't tried that out. I've been kicked off every platform. I mean, how many channels have I lost? And you see what they've done now. They're allowing my channel to exist, but it gets no views.
I understand. They're only doing a little bit for you, but you're still haven't crossed the line, so they're going to leave you alone. You know what I mean? And I don't want you to cross the line, because I've seen you for 10 years now. I don't wish that on nobody. I'm just saying, say it everybody equally. Everybody likes to mock that name, but they know that there's none other that have power behind that name like his. You know, because there's something to it. Okay, let's just admit there's something.
I'm gonna let somebody else join you. I think they're gonna be on your side based on their name. I'm just gonna let them get in here too. You're welcome to stay. Saved by Man.
Well, whatever. I didn't agree to that, but go ahead. I don't know.
Okay, well, here, Saved by Man, I'll come back to you next. Okay, you weren't done yet. I just thought maybe he was going to come on and back you up. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dre G.
Yeah, no, man, I'm just saying, like, listen, the original truth seeker, Jesus Christ, he stood up against all the powers that shouldn't be, and they did that to him. That's the real truth seeker. You know what I'm saying? He's the original, Zach. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Listen. I can actually agree to that, because I'd say Jesus was my inspiration as well for doing the right things in the world, because that was the story I learned as a child.
Yeah, but the way you blaspheme his name, it's not going to work out for you spiritually or physically, my friend.
How do you think I blaspheme the name?
I've seen your videos, Zach. I've seen your videos for years. I chime in. I go in.
All right, so give me an example. We said Hollywood's got 100, easily 100, and we couldn't name any. But then, so dude, now hit me with this one.
I can come back after and tell you which ones, but you've blasphemed his name. You've gone on rants and just
About
kind
how
of
annoyed I am with Christians?
what?
About how annoyed I am with Christians. I think that's what you're confusing.
Yeah, you're annoyed with Christians. You're only annoyed with Christians. Nobody else.
Well, that's
right?
not true. I didn't say I was only annoyed with Christians.
I know, but this is how it comes off, Zach. That's how it comes off.
I think it comes off that way because you guys are extra sensitive when I talk.
No, I'm not.
People only care when you talk about the group that they identify with. You just see that all the time.
No, I'm just speaking for the truth, my friend. I searched it. I felt it in my heart. And I just want to stand up for it.
I don't think you've come on with any real hard truths.
What kind of truth? I try to tell you about a show. You say, no, that show doesn't count. Proof.
I can easily name 100 examples, and then you name 0. Then you accuse me of something, but can't name an example. I'm not hearing any great truths.
Well, it's unfortunate. Listen,
when I talk about the Jesuits in 201 and all their world rituals, I got a whole bunch of examples I can go to, and then there's 5,000 other ones I forgot. You know what I mean? Like I back up what I say.
You say it's not the who's, that it's actually the Roman Catholic Church, and
so you're mad at Jesus's people, right? You're a Jew blamer too, even though Jesus
no. I didn't say that. All I'm saying is, they seem to have a lot of control, is all I'm saying. And when you there's a video of the guy who's the leader of that country right now, who said, well, I'm reading a book. And he goes, what book are you reading? Somebody asks him. It's like, I don't know. He said the name of something. And it's like basically it's based on how they lost the war to the Romans. And he said that he wants to make sure that he does not lose the next war to the Romans. Okay. And why is he saying this? Right? Why is he saying this? If they lost it once at the time, now they're 100% in charge. They're 100% in charge. They're making Trump do whatever they want. Right?
Who is?
You know who?
The Jesuits.
But when you say the Jesuits, like, how is that the Catholic people, right? And
how isn't it? Who else would it be?
I don't know. You know who?
You saw what they just did with the White House Correspondents' Center shooting, right? Didn't you?
I did see that, but what I'm trying to say is, when you say Catholic, it doesn't mean Christians, okay? It's whoever's running that organization, right? It's been infiltrated. Everything's infiltrated.
You got proof?
Everything is infiltrated, Zach. Everything is infiltrated.
The Jesuits literally work by infiltration. Hold on. This is not the post. Where's the post? I guess I didn't put it here. White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting equals 201, and it just happened 201 days from the Superior General's birthday.
But I get it. But 201 does not mean Christians did it. You know what I'm saying?
It means the Jesuits. The Jesuits.
Okay,
the Jesuits.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what's the Jesuits' real name?
I don't know.
Society of Jesus.
Okay, so what if they put the name Society of Jesus just so everybody can look to them to blame, but really it's somebody else. Same as like Freemasonry. It's the extended hand of the who's. Right?
Because again, logic. The Jesuits are worldwide. They gave us the calendar. They're responsible for the language. They're responsible for most of what we know about science. They have the biggest hospital chain in the world, biggest education chain in the world, private that is. They're massive.
That's fine.
There's nobody else that has the power to do that. You're talking about the Jews, who are small, teeny tiny in comparison. They don't have any of this stuff.
Oh, so small and not powerful at all, right? Just every international bank known to man owned.
So
right?
Bank of America, that's Jewish?
I'm just saying they own.
I'm just talking about the two biggest banks in America. Hold on. The two biggest banks in America are both Catholic, and you just said they're all Jews. Were the original bankers Jews?
I'm just saying whoever runs the show now.
Here's what I'm hearing from you. Nothing that's true. You supposedly you follow Jesus, the truth seeker, but I'm not hearing you come on with anything that's true. I'm hearing you talk about things that you don't understand. The two biggest banks in this nation have the Catholic Church all over them. Bank of America started as Bank of Italy, and Chase, the biggest bank, look where J.P. Morgan died. He died while visiting Rome. They're not Jewish.
And who controls Rome?
Is Jamie Dimon Jewish? Is Jamie Dimon Jewish?
And who controls Rome?
What do you mean who controls Rome?
I said who controls Rome?
And I'm asking you, what do you mean who controls Rome? Is that a serious question? What, you think Jews control Rome?
I'm just saying they seem to have a lot of influence. You know what I mean? And God, oh,
why are you so against Jews when Jesus was a Jew? Hold on, Jesus was a Jew. Why are you so against Jews?
Jesus was also against half of the Pharisees that rejected him.
Jesus was Jewish, wasn't he?
That's okay. You can be
Why are we so against Jews?
Yeah, I didn't say that. I'm just saying to the ones that are running the show, the ones that you say are not the real Jews, but the synagogue of Satan. You remember that? Those ones.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Right. So Jesus is a Jew, yes, but not by definition. Everybody's a problem. What I'm saying is he called them out. He called them hypocrites.
Okay.
He flipped the tables in the money exchange in the temple, right? And half of them, when he died, half of the Pharisees said, "Hold on a second, I think this guy's the one that we're waiting for, God in the flesh." And the other half is like, "Are you crazy? We're not gonna go that way. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep what we have." And thousands of years later, they're running the fucking show, which is fine. Good for them. Good for them. I don't care.
Again, what I hear from you is just lots of opinions that don't support the reality. Who do you think has more say in what goes on in the information we get? Do you think it's the intelligence agencies, which were founded by Catholics and Jesuits? Or do you think it's the middle manager Jews who have their names on ABC, CBS, these networks?
I'm just saying, Trump was pulling up the chair and pushing it against the prime minister to help him sit better. What do you think that means? What do you think that looks like? Is that the Catholics controlling it?
Well, the story is if you don't go to that Catholic dinner there, you lose the election like Kamala skipped out on, and the last person to skip it also lost. Did you forget that?
And then did you forget that anyone that doesn't go to the wall and puts their hand on it, also they're not going to get to be president?
What state of Israel equal?
Okay, but here's what I'm saying is who created
201? Did we just see Netanyahu do a bunch of 201 rituals? Is everything about this war going on 201? Did we send 95 billion to Israel on the 201st day of the war? Anyway, enough. Listen, anybody who thinks that somebody like you is intelligent, and this is what I'm saying about religious people, not very smart. You've come on here and you haven't been able to back up a single point. You haven't backed up a single point about anything. So you come on here and made all these bogus claims with zero support.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
I thought
exactly. Good for me. I come with facts. You're cap. All right, let's get Saved by Man on here. What's up, Saved by Man?
Yeah, hey, Zach, why do you argue with dumb people?
Did you think they were dumb?
Yes. I mean,
did you see anybody else calling them?
You love to fight. You love to fight with dumbass people.
Oh, you're the guy who sends me the crazy text messages. I see.
I didn't say fucking crazy text message. You
don't send me the really long.
No. Bro, hey, come. Oh, now you want to argue with me, huh?
Well, because I know it's your voice. I mean, I have 500 text messages with your voice just talking nonsense into the phone. That's not you?
No. Why the fuck would I waste my time? Fucking.
I don't know.
Come on, bro. You're the one fucking telling me, bro. See, you want to argue with people. You want to fight with people, especially if they're dumb.
Is there anything you want to add to this conversation? The last guy was smarter than you. I'll give you that much. The last guy was smarter than you. I'll give you that much.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So, okay, who you've been doing this for what? 12 years?
I guess 12 and a half years, almost 13.
And what has happened? Nothing, right? You think you're gonna change? You think you're gonna change anything? You think you're going to change anything?
Well, we've changed some people's lives. I mean, there's a lot of people that, for example, they avoided that clot shot. How many lives?
Yeah, is that enough?
Have to improve in his own lifetime.
I agree with you. But are they enough? Enough people?
Here's how I know we're actually having an impact. Did Hollywood make a movie last summer and put it out right before my birthday using my lines in the movie?
Possibly, yes, sure.
Yeah, they did. They did. They ripped me off hook, line, and sinker. So that tells me that's a sign that we're having an impact, and there's some people in the world that probably don't like, because that
they're mocking you.
To glorify me, it was meant to mock me.
Yeah, they're mocking you. They're making fun of you.
Right. But if you mock somebody, you're probably a little bit irritated for them one reason or another.
If that's your opinion, sure. I respect that. I don't think that.
Why do you think they've had to delete me so many times? Why do you think
what?
shadow banned to hell? Don't you think that's a sign that we're probably having an impact, that they have to fight against us?
You've been doing it for 12 years, Zach. There's no impact.
Well, wait, just a second ago, you acknowledged there was an impact.
I agree with no, there's no impact.
Okay.
They're too they're too powerful,
Hey, I
Zach.
look forward to the next message. They always make me laugh. All right, we got Mo Money. Mo Money. Mo Money. Hello. Hello. Yeah, oh, if Mo Money, if you're trying to talk, you got to click that mic. You see how it has a little cross through it, a little half cross? There you go.
Hello?
There you go. Can you hear me? He might not be able to hear me.
Can't hear you anymore.
We hear you.
Oh,
I hear
man.
you.
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Thumbs up. Yeah. All right, man. So I'm a new dad too, as well. I have a 6-year-old and a newborn, 1 week old. I get life's busy, but you have been a phenomenal resource for me, life-changing. I don't know if you remember, I think you were moving or something and you were talking about autophagy or something. I was that guy that lost 25 pounds and got off the
I remember
blood
you were
pressure
one of the
meds
most
and high
successful
cholesterol.
comments. Very cool.
So Moses, yeah. I'm just here to give you some encouragement. I'm glad I got on, and I'll look forward to your response. But man, your knowledge and dot connecting of this reality and how it's heavily influenced, and how we can actually use that vibration and connection to create with words our reality, man. It's something that I'm looking forward for my son to give him that earlier, right? And then my second son that's a week old now. So you do matter, and you've already done phenomenal work in decoding all of this maze and mystery of life. And I just want to say thank you for everything you've done and continue to do.
All right. Something I did learn about that fasting to lose weight. There's a lot of benefits, and it can eat the crap out of your body. But something you want to do while you're doing that is also make sure you exercise, because it can eat away at your muscle. So when I was first giving out that advice, that was a piece of information I was lacking. But yeah, when you fast, make sure you're exercising. So push-ups, pull-ups, just whatever you can. If you obviously have a gym membership, your little routine there. But yeah, fasting is very important. It eats the crap out of your body. The people who have the lowest cancer rates in the world practice fasting the most. So that does show you the power of fasting. Let's bring Say by Man on one more time, because we don't have anyone else in the back. Say by Man, what did you think about that? The last caller.
What do you mean? I'm listening to you.
He said he's benefited from the information we put out here. So I know.
Yes. That, of course. Yes.
Isn't that having an impact?
No, you are, but it's not enough.
Oh, I agree.
Bro,
yeah,
you're going up against the Vatican, brother.
I agree. Yeah, I know. I mean, how's one man going to go up against this thing 1,000 years old with all this power?
Exactly.
The only way is if more people listen and help. Instead, I got people like you ridiculing me all the time. I mean,
me?
How's that help?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, bro, you don't even know me, man. You're just.
I know you from your very loving voicemails that you've left so many of.
No, you're getting. Listen, bro, you're getting me confused,
people
Zach.
Love entertainment. Give us one of these.
They do. They do.
In the voicemail. I bet
they do. I agree with you.
I bet I got.
Yeah, go through your voicemail. Go through your voicemail and find my voice. I have never left you a voicemail. That's how. Listen, I don't want to. I respect you. Okay. I have never left you a voicemail. Hello?
Okay.
Never.
All right. You must have the same voice as somebody else. All right. Thank you, Say by
Okay. Well, you sound so sure, bro. Hey, and
well, okay.
You're gonna start making fun of me. Now you're gonna start making fun of me because I say bro.
All right, fine. It must
because
not be
I say bro a lot. And,
Okay.
and that's how we speak. That's how we speak here in California. I live in front of the beach, and the beach boys. That's how we speak.
Okay. I must be confused with another beach boy. All right, say bye, man. Enjoy
I
the
don't know,
beach. I
man.
wish I was there. Have a great day. Enjoy that
Yeah,
beautiful Southern California weather.
yeah.
All right, man.
Stop arguing with dumb people, man. It's a
Hey,
waste of time.
I wish other people called into my show. That's also why I feel just so.
Well, if you stop insulting them and disrespecting them, not your financial support would double or triple or
you could be right about
just
that. You could be right about that. I could be nicer. All right, say bye, man.
listen, bro. People want to support you. People want to support you financially. They just want to be respected a little bit. I don't know.
Okay,
Man.
all right. I'll work on it. Thanks for the beautiful advice. Enjoy the beach. Enjoy the beach.
I don't know about beautiful. I don't know about beautiful, but sure.
The beach isn't beautiful?
No, you say you're beautiful advice, bro. You think you're faster? Come on, bro. You're not.
Well,
yeah. Have a good day. Have a good day. Goodbye.
All right. Beautiful advice wasn't the right words. Thank you for the rock solid advice. Appreciate it. All right, guys. For all the people who don't know what COINTELPRO is, supposedly this was a real COINTELPRO comes from a real program that went from 56 to 71. Look it up. 56 to 71. It goes on to this very day. I love how the government, like MK Ultra, they're like, yeah, we used to do that. But, Society of Jesus, 56, Washington, D.C., 56, the feds, Freemasons, the plural, 56, Society of Jesus, again, I meant to write the Society of Jesus, 71 like Catholic. COINTELPRO was a federal program from 56 to 71, they say, but no doubt it's still a program today, and no doubt a lot of your favorite YouTubers are it. And yeah, I just want you to see what it looks like, and especially when two of them that just are absolute morons get together. Where did it go? Let me switch around these audio settings here. This is COINTELPRO, you guys. This is what it sounds like. I think tonight when I'm decoding the thing, I'm just going to do a stream play in the background, just playing this stream. And if anybody knows where the original debate is, I want to see it because I see my post up there on the screen while they were debating, but I don't see them talk about it. Let's see here. I better do this. All right, here we go. COINTELPRO at its finest. Young Pharaoh, total fraud out of the gate, race baiter versus Gary, who somehow got pulled out of being irrelevant right where he belonged to getting blasted out there with the biggest shows on YouTube.
Out of my community, exposed the deep state on behalf of Trump. Some of y'all might ask me why.
Have you ever met Trump?
No, I haven't met Trump. I was supposed to meet Trump at CPAC, and coincidentally, I got canceled from an uncanceling event. But other than that, I haven't met Trump. And
I'll see if I can help you out there.
Yeah, we'll see. I tell you what, Trump might want to pay me for this dossier, for this work I did. He might want to pay me for that. But long story, because I still got the evidence on the 20. I'm actually the only person in the world breathing right now with the evidence from the 2020 election. And this is GG33 Academy's proper TikTok. So even I had to double back on it and make sure it's the right one. Now, like I said, some of y'all will click these names, such as mine or other brands.
If you guys aren't familiar with Young Pharaoh, the guy with the weasel voice, just always capping, always lying, always talking straight bullshit. And it shows you how dumb a lot of Americans are, because a lot of people just thought what he was preaching was gospel. Just the biggest bullshitter in the history of bullshitters. And yeah, look at Gary looking like a scumbag at a poker table.
And you would see a lot of followers. And sadly, people have built up a following jacking other people's brands. But this is
but hold on now.
Yes, sir.
Even if people are copying and pasting your work, it's still your face. It's still your words. They're still spreading your influence. So they all they're doing is taking a little money from the pot.
Actually, you know what? I was listening a little bit of this earlier. Gary's advice is right here, and it's why I've let a lot of people sell my book and use my work, because, yeah, sure, they might be making money off you, but they're still getting your brand, your message out there, and ultimately that was my whole thing, is to get my message out there. So, yeah, you shouldn't be – there's no reason to cry if people are using your work to make money off it. Gary uses my work to make money off it and partnered with the guy who learned from me, case in point. And Gary goes around saying he's the greatest of all time, when really, we all know who he learned from and got his only ever winning picks from.
They're not actually diminishing you. In some ways, they're actually helping you. I've talked to many influencers over the past 6 months that I went out here and got 600 million views in about 6 months. And what the influencers told me was very simple. You want people spreading your stuff. The difference is you sell a product. You sell an individual product that they can't sell because they're not you. And that's how you take care of all that, brother.
Well,
Gary probably learned that from watching me.
Personally, I see the ins and outs of some of that. And me personally, I just feel as far as my product is legal work and intellectual property. So no disrespect.
Can't steal that.
Yeah. So my main thing is like when somebody steals my work, for me, I would feel the same way that a nonfiction author or a researcher would feel, or an attorney would feel, or in my case, a private investigator would feel.
No, because they, my friend, when they steal someone's words or someone's books or someone's letters, what they do is they, basically copyright the stuff and say in their own words, but they're still playing your words. It's you saying it. It's your video.
I'm at slide 174. There's not a race of person of any man on the planet that could say that they was number one on the App Store for education at all. You know how hard it is to be number one for education?
How long were you there?
Well, I was made notice of it April 30th, 2021, but there's no telling how long I was there before because I was never even informed I was there.
I got you. I mean, but people become one-hit wonders. It's if you can sustain it. That's the main thing. I don't know, brother. I'm just putting things out there.
Do you have a shout out from the CIA?
I was at the Trump White House. I'm the only person in my field who was invited to the White House when it was December 2020 and the whole damn thing was falling apart. They didn't call you to the White House.
Just for the record, you guys, Gary and I are the original two people doing this kind of work online. And when I started, Gary was telling everybody that Gematria was just nothing and just totally stupid. And all that mattered was numerology and the Chinese zodiac because he got picked wrong day after day and couldn't nail a damn thing. But now he goes around again with the guy who wanted to partner with me in business, and he's his business partner now. And I'm pretty sure they employ the troll that is always trying to make me look bad. But yeah, anyway, just listen to these guys. Were you invited to the Trump White House? Were you shouted out by the CIA? It's like, what? And remember, I was just showing you about what happened to their young pharaoh there with his latest arrest. I showed you from the very beginning, this guy had the Jesuit fingerprints all over him, and the Jesuit fingerprints are the CIA fingerprints. But yeah, look, young pharaoh arrested on the 68th day of the year, facing years in prison. Young pharaoh 68, CIA 68. You got shouted out by the CIA? Unbelievable.
House, brother. They called me to the White House. But go ahead.
I'm the one that helped Trump stop 19.
What do you mean you helped to stop 19?
What do you mean? That's why I got a shout out from the CIA. I'm the one that blocked 19.
How did you block 19, sir?
I'm the one that found the origins of HIV. But anyway,
you found the origins. I need help. Can you fly too, sir? Sir, can you fly too? I mean, you're saying you can do this. You can do this. There's actually photographic.
You guys, this is why the world is fucked too, because think about how dumb the average American has to be to listen to somebody like this. Because if you guys have never heard Young Pharaoh before, this is every broadcast. Just talking nothing but bullshit. Just nonstop bullshit. And there's people so dumb that they're just eating it all up. They're that dumb. In this stream, I was listening. I'm gonna play this stream tonight when I'm decoding the thing. I'm just gonna do a live stream tonight, just playing this. And I don't even know if I need to comment. But for all you guys who are like, hey, last night they got, nah, Pharaoh was real. Yeah, a real race baiter, a real moron, a real fast talking idiot. Listen, this part's hilarious. Hold on. I had this going earlier this morning when I was working. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, this is a damn comedy special right here.
Wealth anywhere in the world in the past 80 years. Do you know there's hold on, aren't you a millionaire? Yes or no? Wait, are you a millionaire? Yes or no?
No, I'm actually about to be a trillionaire.
A trillionaire?
Yeah, I'm actually about to be a trillionaire. I have 7 apps.
Dude, you cap more than the fucking Andrew Tate.
I actually do.
It's crazy how he makes Gary look good in this debate, because Gary is the ultimate liar. Gary's so bad at lying. And this guy, though, it's just... all of you guys, I hope you guys aren't here last night where my comments, Pharaoh's the truth.
I actually do. So
brother, I don't even think you have more than me, brother. I don't even think you have more money than me.
You have 7 apps?
I don't need 7 apps, brother. I got a fucking bank account for it.
Can you believe that because of how shitty YouTube is and how it is just all COINTELPRO and just spamming, just frauds, that these guys have reached more people than yours truly for the grind I've put in and all the real information I've shown. This is the shit that's ended up reaching more people. These two idiots.
Cash.
Okay, well, I'm on my way to being a trillionaire, and all I want.
You're going to be a trillionaire. What year are you going to be a trillionaire, sir?
I'm gonna tell you right now.
What year are you going to be a trillionaire?
Be quiet long enough, sir. For me
I'm listening.
Okay, so this is all I want to say. As long as you feel as a Caucasian and all Caucasians on the planet feel that y'all are smart enough to survive without me, and I never asked me for $1, that is all I ask. But to argue with y'all about history is not something that I care to do. I just want everybody to know that I'm publishing my work. My work will be sold in the forms of books, and my books will be purchased and distributed out to the world, and anybody that can provide factual, scientifically journaled research, whether it be public or independent, who can debunk my work factually, not yell over me while I'm speaking, or not try to discredit people because what their sexualities may or may not be.
It's interesting how you defend homosexuality all the time, but you say it's the white man.
Homosexuality all the time.
It's interesting how you defend it all the time, and then you blame white people for it. But you're the black guy.
How do I defend homosexuality? I'm the one that said.
You got sugar in your tank, bro.
I'm the one that caught George Soros for being a terrorist for funding the community. So how do I defend homosexuality?
You're obviously doing it on this podcast, brother. You can't in one say white people are all the pedophiles, yet then you are defending them, no matter what their sexual organizations. You sound like a CIA asset.
Would you like me to pull up the PowerPoint of all of the?
When I was living in Yakima, you guys, it was during Cooties. It was shortly after Number Games came out. But remember, back then I was at the post office all the time, mailing off books, mailing off Number Games all the time. And I had to stop by the recycling center, and there was a young kid pulling up to dump off his stuff at the recycling center too, and he was blasting young Pharaoh out the window, just blasting it. And I said, "Hey man," I said, "You call yourself a truth seeker?" He said, "Yeah, I think so." I said, "That's young Pharaoh you're listening to, right?" He goes, "Oh, you know who he is?" I said, Yeah, he shows up in our feeds." He's like, "Yeah, man, I love his work." I said, "Okay." I didn't say anything bad about young Pharaoh. I said, "If you're a truth seeker," I said, "I'm also on YouTube." I said, I don't get the recognition young Pharaoh does, but I said, I just wrote this book and I'm off to the place to send some off. I got an extra one if you're interested." And he goes, "Yeah, I'd like it." So I gave him the book and we talked for a minute and we exchanged phone numbers. And I only ended up talking to him one time after that. But when we talked, he's like, "Yeah, man, I get Pharaoh's work more. Your stuff's kind of too much for me." And I was just like, "God damn it, man." I guess that's where that guy's like, "He just said, God damn it." Yeah, these figures of expression. But yeah, seriously, it is like, God damn it. It's like, what? God, why, God? Why did you make people so dumb? How the hell do you resonate with this guy that just gets on here and bullshits? And I wrote down a book of undeniable facts and ritualism. Again, you guys, they've bred a society of morons. They've bred a society of morons. Otherwise, this stuff would never work. They couldn't put out a young Pharaoh and it would I mean, imagine if you have an educated society, everyone's like, "What the fuck? Who's believing this shit?" This guy just, both of these frauds. And you know what else is hilarious about this? Is at the beginning, Gary goes on there because he's like, "Yeah, young Pharaoh's a 33 life path like me. And all the world's most influential people are 33 life path," which isn't true. Start running the, is Donald Trump a 33 life path? Because he's pretty much the biggest guy on the world stage right now. No, he's not. He's a 31 like Bill Gates, like yours truly, which breaks down to 4, the number of foundation. And I'm not really into all that anyway. But anyway, what's hilarious is Gary talks about how Pharaoh's got to be the truth because he's a 33. And then by the end of this, he's like, "Man, you're just a complete moron." It's like, "Huh, Gary, what happened? I thought if you were a 33, it just makes you just the most amazing person. But you just, at the beginning, you started saying he's a 33, so he must be so amazing. Now he's a moron?" Again, and Gary was proud. Gary said he was part of the clique that got my Twitter taken down. He was bragging about that on Twitter at the beginning of 2025. And then he said that I was going to have a very terrible year of the snake. Hey, I actually had a record year last year. And I heard Gary actually had a bad year of the snake. Poor Gary. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to play this tonight for all of you people that think any of these people are the truth. I mean, just listen to them. They're just total frauds. They're total frauds. They got nothing. You see how I come here day after day and just put it down, just undeniable ritualism, the same patterns, the same shit, connecting all the dots. All throughout that stream, Gary and young Pharaoh are bragging about how connected they are to Trump and the government, which probably is true. They had young Pharaoh marching around in a mega hat. before it all fell apart for him. When he went to CPAC and said that Jews come from lizard bloodlines, like it was a David Icke book, they said, "Oh, you're out of here. You're out of here." He said Jews are lizards. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, you guys. There's not going to be many more live streams for the foreseeable future. They'll have to be late at night when I do them. Because, yeah, my schedule's changing after this Friday. But I will continue to keep up with the news and put out short videos. But the live stream thing's going to be few and far between. And I don't know if anyone's really going to care. Because I told you guys this is one of the last streams and participate now. And nobody participated for the most part. So, but yeah, again, I'm not quitting. It's just YouTube has pretty much killed the channel. And the cavalry's not coming. I'm going to look into this Kick thing. You guys keep saying Kick. Maybe Kick is the final frontier. But yeah, I really don't want to go on any other platforms because I've been kicked off of all of them. I've already suffered the pain across the board. So, yeah, anyway. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. Wish we would have had more people in the conversation. And if you do want the one place I will be live streaming daily is on Patreon. If you want daily live streams, I'll still be doing on Patreon because, it starts with the word pay. And, especially having children as expensive as things are, do got to pay the bills. No doubt about it. And, of course, we will be doing the Kentucky Derby this weekend, trying to win again. We've done it a lot. We'll see if we can do it again this year. So we'll leave it there for now. And, again, thanks to everyone who hits the like and the share and leaves the comments. And until next time.